Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good
So
evening.
it's so good to have everybody here. And I think this is the second day we are meeting. We met yesterday, and it was really a very powerful session with our director, Mrs. Dorcas. All right. So we are already getting in properly. And like I said earlier, it was really a nice session with Mrs. Dorcas yesterday because I know that by now, if we are asked that, okay, what is the objective of SQYI or TQN, what almost of us should be able to say one or two things about what we stand for, about what we do. We are not here, we actually mean business, and everything is centering on as we give to the community, we give out, we are also growing. And I think that is one of the prerequisites of life. Yes, when you give, there should be a way whereby you are being watered back. And that's what we do here. So we don't give out and give out because we know that it is out of our own growth that we can give. We can only give what we have, right? So that is what we do here. The training, the webinars, the talk, everything is centering to our growth. So, and that is why we encourage each and every one of us. If you also have friends that we can actually invite, please let us do that. It will really be a nice thing if, as we are growing, our friends are growing too. And, it will just be a circle of made people. And that will be wonderful. It will make life easy. So that is, yes, by now we know that, okay, what we stand for in SQYI, we stand for the holistic growth and the professional growth and also personal growth of our life. So we are not only doing, okay, everything is not just one-sided. It encompasses our health, our career, our finance, even God, yes, which is the ultimate. So everything is centering on, and everything is just based on our growth, and in a way whereby, okay, we can actually give back to the society and also put someone up. So it will really be a wonderful journey with you tonight. Like, I'm really, really excited to be here and to be doing this. So in just one word, please listen carefully. In just one word, how does digital space feel to you right now? In just one word, how does digital space feel to you right now? So the option is exciting, overwhelming, full of opportunity, challenging.
Yeah, I think to me, full of opportunity.
Oh, okay. Why do you say that? I would like to have, even if it is in one sentence. Why?
Okay, okay. Why I said digital space is full of opportunities that gone are the days where we need to meet physically to get things done. But now, I mean, in this era, we can get tasks executed like without seeing ourselves. That's with the help of digital space. So I feel it's full of opportunity for me.
Moving to the next session right now, and that will be taken by my co-moderator, Mr. Bankole Temiemi.
So before we bring on board the guest speaker for tonight, I'm sure he's powerfully prepared. With a rapt ovation, Coach Tolubolaji is a versatile IT professional with broad experience across IT service management, hardware engineering, data science, product management, and other technology domains. He has worked across multiple industries, bringing a blend of technical depth, strategic thinking, and solution-oriented execution to every role. He is the convener of Men Ought to Pray and the Reconciled Network, demonstrating leadership beyond the workplace and a commitment to building impactful communities. Tolu is passionate about mentoring teenagers and young adults, helping them achieve meaningful results and live with purpose. His drive to empower the next generation reflects both his values and his vision for long-term impact. So with a loud ovation, can we welcome him with our reaction tonight? Thank you, Coach Tolu. You can have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, Bankole Temiemi. Thank you, everyone here this evening, to the team that put this together, to the anchors of this evening. I say thank you very much for this opportunity. And to everyone who has availed themselves this opportunity, who are here, every one of you, I want you to, put your hands together for yourself. Let me see the emojis on your profiles. Let me see the emoji in the chat room. Put your hands together for yourself for taking this very important and very decisive step in your career journey and in your personal growth journey as well. Yeah, let me see those things. Let me see them in the chat room. And thank you so much for being here this evening. I'm also grateful to the convener of the Quintessential Network. I hope I got that right. Thank you so much for putting this together. And thank you for having me share my little might here this evening. Okay, so I've been following since we started. Like the introduction was made, my name is Tolu Bolaji. I work in the IT space. We'll get into that shortly. And I have experience spanning over 15 years and over different areas and sectors of the IT industry. So this evening, I've just brought the little I know, and I really hope that it's going to help everybody that has availed themselves this opportunity this beautiful evening. So without wasting much time, because I know I have a scheduled time for this conversation, I just wanted to drop in the chat room. I know there was a poll or probably a question that was asked by the anchor at the beginning of, that was Banke, at the beginning of this conversation about, your perception or your interaction with the digital space. But I just want to take it a little notch, put a little blend to it. If you judge your IT skill, when I say IT skill, your ability to use the computer, well and achieve whatever result you want to achieve with it, your ability to be able to use digital tools without much issues or without needing much assistance or monitoring, if you judge it to be above average, that's more like 6 or 7 out of 10. I want you to drop a 10 in the chat room. Just drop 10 in the chat, type 10 in the chat room. I want to see just a quick poll. Let's do that in the next 10 seconds. Just drop a 10 in the chat room if you feel like your ability to use digital tools, talking about document creation using Microsoft Word, using PowerPoint, using Excel, to whatever extent, even using Zoom. I want to put it to you that, some people might find that challenging. Just drop a 10 in the chat room if you feel your skill in the digital is above average. Okay, I see 4 people dropped it already. We have 12 people minus me on the meeting, so I hope to see more. All right, I'm seeing 10, 10, and I'm loving this. It makes the conversation easier. It makes the conversation easier. All right, give me a second as I share my screen. Can I be made co-host, please, so I can do that, please? All right, I see 10 in the chat room, and if I'm seeing 6 10s out of 12 in the chat room, I can easily assume that 50% of us have skills that are above average. Skills that are above average, and that's perfect. Even if you have 0 skills, one of the things that I'll be doing tonight is to spur you to action and then to guide you on how to proceed from where you are. All right. Okay, I think I'm co-host now. Let me share my screen in a second. Okay. So like you must have noted too, there's the topic of my conversation with us this evening is finding your feet in the digital space. Finding your feet in the digital space. Okay. Yep. Got it. Please confirm that you can see my screen if you're able to. Just give me a thumbs up or somebody on mute and let me know.
Yes, we can see it, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So finding your feet in the digital space. Okay, I subtitled that creating, unlocking, and maximizing opportunities. Creating, unlocking, and maximizing opportunities. Okay, like I mentioned, my assignment this evening is just, I divided it into 3 sectors, very simply. Number 1, clarity. You understand the landscape, understand what we say the digital space, what do we mean? Okay, some people just feel when they say digital, it's just about coding. So when people hear about, oh, you should learn an IT skill, the next thing that comes to their mind is, oh, to code, be a developer, and all of that. We learned this evening that it's actually beyond that. Another thing the second thing that constitutes my mission here this evening is to explain to you the skills and positioning that you need to develop. Okay, the skills you need to develop, the positioning that you need to assume to be able to maximize the opportunities that the digital space makes available to you. And then the third thing is to break the barriers. So many at times the things that stop us from achieving what we want to achieve, or that discourage us from going for the goals that we have in mind to go for, is that things that we can term as barriers or blockages on our ways. Okay, so that's one other thing I want to touch on tonight. Okay. And this conversation is for everybody. Either you studied something technical, or you studied something commercial, or you an arts, major, whatever it is, this conversation is for all of us. All right. So the digital space, I would say, is more than what we think. Like I mentioned, many people think when we say digital space, it's just about coding. I'll be a developer, be a backend developer, be a front-end developer. I hope these things are not just jargons to us. One time or the other, you've heard about those terms I'm calling out. Be a developer, code, write Python, write C#, write Java, know how to use this and that. What if you say you're an IT person or probably a developer, they ask you, what's your stack? Okay, I can do MongoDB, I can write Java, I can, and all of that. So some people get discouraged when they hear all of those things. On another hand, some people get it skewed or twisted because they don't understand that when we say digital space is actually wider than what they think. Okay, it's wider than just being just code. In fact, that's a very, very little space or a little part of what we call the digital space. Okay, so the digital space consists of things or industries or areas like fintech. When I say fintech, I hope you know what I mean. Fintech is, anything that has to do with financial technology. Things like OPay. I hope you can relate with that now. Things like Money Points, okay? Things like even those loan sharks that, do loan and all of that people use. I discourage you totally from using that. Fintech, generally, money transfer, anything that has to do with transaction, okay? Fintech, educational tech, I'll get into that later on, more precise, because I think it's very related to what we want to do this evening. Educational tech, you would have seen online applications, or online apps, online some websites where you can actually learn things. You pay to learn. Some of them you can learn for free and all of that. Those are ed techs. They are all, just as the name implies, it's easy to understand. Health tech, you know what that means, that's the health industry. You have the e-commerce, the Jumia, the Temus, the AliExpress of this world, all of those things fall under e-commerce. You have the digital media, okay, and that's a very, very vast, in fact, aspect of the digital space, or what we call the digital economy, And, there's countless opportunities in these spaces. There's countless opportunities, there's countless areas of innovation that you can actually explore, no matter what your background is, no matter what your current status or knowledge of the digital space, is. I try and run, quickly this evening because I believe this session is meant to be interactive one. And then, so I want us to get to the question and answer so that as many questions and answers I can take on tonight, we'll be able to thrash them in the limited time that we have. Okay. Now, how many of you have had this name before? Inyolua Boyeji. Just signified by an emoji. You know, Inyolua Boyeji was, you know, was a Nigerian, obviously from his name, but Inyolua Boyeji has been successful in founding and growing 2 unicorns. All right. So some of us know what the unicorn means when I say unicorn. A unicorn is an organization or a firm that is valued at minimum of $1 billion. No, not naira now, dollars. So this guy has actually been responsible for founding 2 unicorns. 2 unicorns. One of them is the one written on his shirt in this picture here, the Andela Institute. I think that was the first one. Andela, you know, was more like an HR application, you know, and that's another aspect of the digital space or the digital economy. Was trying to link people to jobs abroad, trying to link people with opportunities, trying to link people also with learning and skill development, mentoring, and all of that. And then that organization grew to be valued at over $1 billion. And he grew the organization. He co-founded that organization. He was CEO at some point until he stepped down. And then he found another one, Flutterwave. Who has heard about Flutterwave before? Yeah? If you have heard about Flutterwave, do I have reactions in the chat room? Let me have your reactions, or just use the emojis, you know, on this meeting, so that I know you are following. All right. If you are following, just drop a 1 on the chat room. If you are following me, let me know that I'm being heard. It's quite important. Are we together? Oh, thank you very much. All right. You know, so Inyolua has founded 2 startups that grew to be over $1 billion each, separately, not combined, separately. $1 billion, Andela Institute, $1 billion Flutterwave. Okay. Flutterwave is a fintech application. Yeah, it's more like InterSwitch. Most of us have heard about InterSwitch before, you know. So Flutterwave, we have seen Flutterwave a number of times. We do online transactions. Okay. Why did I pick on this guy? This guy is a law major. What do I mean? He studied law. All right. But yeah, he's a tech leader. Now, there's no space where they talk about tech in the world or in Africa that they will not mention this guy. You know, he's been featured on Forbes, he's been featured on, you know, very prestigious media and all of that, and he's making waves. You know, he's just about 34. All right. So what am I saying? There's no limits, there's no cap on the things that you can achieve in the digital space. It's just about you innovating, recognizing opportunities, and putting those skills that you already have to use. Okay, developing them, and then your inclinations, you know, and all of that. We'll talk about them in a moment. Okay. Now I want to talk about your skills. You know, I just mentioned your skills. Now, putting your skills to use and then making use of them so that you maximize them in this digital space. I hope you know when I say digital space. Let me share my own personal journey with you, and I hope it will be very, very relatable with many of us. Yes, I have a technical background. I'm actually trained as an electrical engineer. Okay, but from way back, I've always loved computers. I've always, you know, liked to use computers. Many of us might not have this kind of journey that I've had, but I believe you'll be able to relate with it in one way or the other. You know, back in school, primary school, in those days, there were no much computers. We only had computer lessons probably once in 2 weeks, or I wasn't up to once in a week then. And what happened then in those days was that there were computer institutes in town or wherever that will come around to your school. Your school will have a bond with them, primary school, and then they come to teach you. When they are coming, they just teach you, draw computer on the board, tell you this is the keyboard and all of that. And once in a while, they bring it to class for you to see. So there was this time they brought a computer to our class. I think I was in primary 3, and then we're meant to play a game on just to touch the computer. This thing that you have been drawing on the board, let's touch it. Let's have a feel of this thing. And I was so excited. We're taking turns to play games on the computer, and it was almost my turn. The guy who shared the same desk with me had gone, played his own. And I remember it took them a long time before they could set it up that day, probably power issues and all of that. And then when it got to my own turn, when my desk mate who just finished his own turn was coming back, he tripped over one of the wires and the computer went off. And that was the end for me. I couldn't touch the computer that day. And it would not be until 10 years after that I ever touched another computer. And I'm telling you my own personal story. Okay. It was, I had finished from secondary school before I touched the computer again, like ever. And what happened then probably it was the days when cyber cafes just came. And then, I just forced myself there one day. I didn't know what to press. I just bought 1 hour and I was by the computer. I was begging the people there to come and put me through. I just had the drive. And that's one very important thing that you need to have in this space. In fact, in anything at all, but very, very importantly, in the digital economy, in the digital space, it is very important that you have the drive. It is very important that you are curious, that you want to know. It is very important. I would divide the people in the digital space into two very important or broad categories. First, the people that make it happen, okay? The people that are the coders, the developers, the people that are the software engineers, the hardware engineers. I happen to be more of a hardware engineer. The people that are the developers, the web designers, and all of that. On one side, I put them. See it, imagine it to be a table. Okay, on one side of the table, you have those people. On this other side of the table, you have the people who use computers very well. They are not the developers. They are not the engineers. They are not the website, all of those things. But they are the people who have mastered the art of applying, the art of application of digital tools. Okay, on the other side of the table. There's no middle point, mind you. So if you are not at that table, where you are is not at the middle point. You are actually on the menu. And what I mean is that there's no middle point. It's either you are on this side or on that side. If you are on neither of those sides, you are in a very bad place. There's no sweeter way to put it. Okay, there's no sweeter way to put it. There's nothing. See, we've talked about fintech, we've talked about health tech, we've talked about edutech, we've talked about so many other things. These things, the digital space has transcended just IT world. It has gone into every little minute areas of our lives and of every human endeavor. And that's why it is very important that you train yourself up. It is very important that you pick up skills that are necessary. It's more like a life skill now, okay? It's more like if you do not have it, your survival is very, very slim in the workspace, in developing a formidable career for yourself. And if you are not picking anything from that conversation tonight, let that be what you will pick, that you need to develop a digital skill and hone it such that you are able to be an authority in it. Okay, now back to the conversation. There are skills that you have already that are applicable in the digital space. Like I mentioned, it's not only about coding. Some of us are good with communication. Some of us could stand in, front of a TikTok and do, camera and do TikTok videos perfectly, without stuttering. You can communicate with people and then, convey your thoughts quite eloquently and all of that. Communication is one of the skills that people have. And if you fall in that category, there are a lot of things that you could do in the digital space. Talk about creating an online course. Talk about, I took the time to list some of them here. Being some people do translations, and you see all of these things I have listed here. They are most of them, in fact, all of them have nothing to do with coding. And I purposely made it that way tonight because I believe most likely people who code, people who do software development or hardware development, all of that, might not come to this meeting tonight because they might have those skills that we're going to talk about already, which is the other side of the digital space that I'm talking about. So I believe many of us that are here do not have those technical blend of exposure in the digital space. So that's why I picked those skills that are listed here, or those opportunities or application areas that are listed here carefully. All right. So if you are good at communication, you could consider things like, translation, tech policy. There's an aspect of technology, policy management, let me recall very well. If I recall what we call the voice, it's about policy, okay? Technology policy, drafting it, and all of that. That's for lawyers and people who actually have an inclination to that. You could talk about so many things. If you are good with communication, digital marketing is also one of the things that you could consider. If you are good with organizing, let me take organizing next. If you're a good organizer, some people can organize things. You can bring people together to achieve results. You can plan events. You know how to organize people, organize resources, organize things. And there are other aspects of digital that you could actually try to focus on. One of them, let me mention that very, very importantly, because I've actually helped some people to hone their skills in that area of technology. It's called product management. Now, it's different from project management. It's called product management. Excuse me. All right, product management. The product management is more like project management, but in the IT space. Okay, it's more like project management, but in the IT space. Product management involves bringing people together, the people who are front-end engineers, the people who are back-end engineers, the people who are UI, UX. UI, UX, by the way, means user interface and user experience. Developers, bringing those people together and then coordinating their work. That's just in summary what product management is about. From the beginning to the ending, everything that technology development involves. Yeah, thank you, Dave. You can go to mom now. Pardon me, that's one of the effects of working from home. All right, so product management is about bringing those people together. So if you are good with organizing. Now, for me, for instance, I'm actually a certified product manager. I work currently. I do not work as a product manager, but I'm certified as a product manager. Yeah, you've seen it. You can go now again. Thank you very much. Okay, sit down. Apologies, so that you won't be a distraction. It's okay. It's okay, my dear. All right. Sorry about it. Thank you. You can go to mom now. All right. So product management is about organizing those people, bringing them together such that you are able to coordinate their work from inception, from the beginning to the close out. Okay. By the time we finish, or by the time when I give us something that I will call a work plan, or what's the next steps to take in your journey, I believe you would have a good grasp of the things that you would like to do as a product manager, if you decide to go that route. Okay. Let me go to numbers. If you are good with numbers, for instance, you could consider things like accounting for IT. In the IT space, you consider something like data analysis or data science is very important. That's if you are good with numbers. Let me quickly run through this also. Creativity, if you are good in creativity, you could actually go into UI UX. I mentioned UI UX the other time. It's not so technical. If you are somebody I'm actually somebody who is also good with creativity. I have done graphic design. I still do, on the side and all of that. And if you are good with those things, if you're a graphic designer, you are good with that, you could actually consider going into that space and then doing, UI UX. If you are good with that, you could consider digital branding. You could consider a number of things, a lot of things that you could do. I'm spending a little bit more time on this so that I can make some emphasis, and then we can, have questions after this. All right. So let me mention. I've talked about this when I talked about two sides of the tables: the people who enable and then the people who use. But let me divide it further, and that's what I have here. Okay. I've talked about the people who are the software developers. I've talked about the people who are. Don't talk again. I've talked about the people who are the software developers, the data scientists, the front-end developers, and all of that. The second category are the people who are tech-enabled. I've also talked briefly about that. If you're a digital marketer, product management, expert, like I mentioned, you are enabled. You are data. You are technology enabled. Okay, I could consider you as technology enabled. Okay, and the third category of people are technology adjacent people or tech adjacent people. These are people who don't use it directly. They're not the digital marketers. They're not product managers. They are not UI UX designers, but they use tech. Okay, they're the people in the e-commerce space, the people who have an online store, the people who have who do things online. I put this picture here. I know many of us, in fact, all of us, as you see it, you would have recalled what happened, with the picture that you see here. This lady actually made a lot of buzz with the Guinness Book of Record record that she broke. Okay, the Guinness record she broke about the largest pot of jollof rice. Now, about this, it's not only what gave it the most publicity is because it was present in the digital space. If it was just the regular, the contemporary media, say NTA came there and maybe Arise TV News and all of that, it would not gain as much popularity as it gained. But there was social media buzz about it. All right, there was the digital space buzz about it. Everybody heard about it. People, and then it became a sensation worldwide. All right, if it wasn't for the digital space, we would not have had that happen. Okay, so my dear, okay, so apologies. So the digital media, the digital space gave us so much publicity, gave that venture, gave that thing that she did so much publicity that he even brought in money, brought in so many things for her, and relevance and acknowledgement from different quarters, of the world. Okay, so you could relate with it when I say tech enabled. What she did wasn't anything about tech. What she did was about food. What she did cooked was jollof rice. But she harnessed the power of digital. Okay. Other examples could be digital, human resource, and then even project management. It falls under the tech enabled aspect. Any other thing that doesn't fall under the first two, the tech driven and the tech enabled, then falls under the tech adjacent. All right. Are we following tonight? Okay. Now I want to move in quickly into things that I believe are barriers that we all could relate with, that we could think are things that could be blockers for us in harnessing the digital space or making the most of it. One of the things that most people would talk about is limited access. Limited access. You could recall my story that I gave an example of the other time, how that I didn't have access to computers. Not only till recent years, years ago, probably even just about 10 years or more ago, did people started having laptops so rampant, everywhere, having personal computers and all of that. You had to pay to use computers before now. Okay, but now it's everywhere. Even if you don't have one, you will have somebody who has one. You have access to a phone, for instance. Your phones are actually computers. Your phones are devices that are technology enabled and you could actually use in your drive for relevance in the digital space. Okay, so limited access is one of the things, not only to the devices, but even to internet, for instance. Okay, to connectivity, limited access sometimes, and also not only to that, even the tools that you could use. But the good news is this. All right. Put mommy on there, please. Yeah, tell her I told you to come to her. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that, please. Again. Okay, so the digital space is there are a lot of free tools. There are a lot of things you could actually use. There are a lot of tools you could maximize. Okay. A lot of opportunities that are free to use. Okay, I listed some examples here. For instance, if you are somebody like a creative who could, do some design, you like putting things together, to beautiful things beautiful things and all of that. I know many of us would have heard about Canva. It's something you could actually use a lot. I know people who use it very well, even probably some of us here. Canva is a very good tool. There are free versions, there are free tools or free features you could use on Canva that will give you very astonishing results. Okay, you don't have to pay to use it. You'd use it easily. And then, YouTube is also a free, I mean, that goes without saying. Many of us go on YouTube, do many things, but you could actually learn a whole course on YouTube. Get on YouTube, you could search for, there are courses line by line, okay? There are courses session by session, broken down and for free on YouTube. So there are free resources. I don't think access is anymore a barrier, as it were, for you. It is not a barrier for you, it shouldn't be a barrier for anyone anymore. Access to the devices, access to the tools, like we mentioned, the applications, Canva here and YouTube I also mentioned. There are a lot of them. I think I'll get to some of them in a few minutes again. Access should not be a problem anymore. Also, you could actually find access to communities online that can guide you and all of these things for free. So access should not be a problem anymore. Okay, at least at this stage of entry stage of the digital economy, of the digital space. Okay, access shouldn't be. Then second thing, some people might see as probably a barrier or a limitation is financial constraints. Okay, financial constraints. Now, I'm not denying that. Okay, but I also put it to you that there are free, high quality resources online. Okay. So I mean, I talked about YouTube the other time. You could find courses there. But I mean, even if it's difficult for you to find something that you wanted on YouTube, there are free online courses. For instance, I know some of us would have heard about Coursera. I have done courses on Coursera for free. Okay. All you need to do is audit that course. It's called auditing. And what auditing means is that you won't get a certificate for it. What it means is that you'll be able to go through the course, but you might not be able to write the exam. All you do is you listen to the course, you can take notes, you can watch all the videos, you can do all of those things. You just audit the course, and that's it. You have gained that knowledge, and it cannot be taken away from you. There's ALX, I think African Leadership, something. What's the X now? There's Microsoft Learn. I mean, you should check these things out. There's the IBM Cognitive Classic. I think it's Classic. IBM Cognitive. If you type in IBM Cognitive into your browser, you get it. There's EDX, a lot of them. In fact, these types of platforms are called MOOCs, Massive Open Online Courses. They don't use that acronym so much anymore. But at the start of when it just started, then I could recall one very prominent one was Open University. It's an Australian platform, Open University. I remember I did courses on it then, early 2013, thereabout. And then you could do them for free. Some of them are paid, and all of that. But there were free courses on it. You could do free courses and gain knowledge and learn from all of those, platforms. One thing you see here, I highlighted 6 scholarships, and this is very important too. There are all of these ones that we mentioned. Like I mentioned, there are paid courses on it and there are free courses on it. But even for the paid courses that are very, very premium content, you could actually seek for scholarship. For every course there, you could apply for scholarship. Okay. What scholarship means? They just ask you a few questions. What's your income? What's this and that? Write a motivation of probably how many minimum words or something. It's not always strenuous. If you need help about that, you could actually seek help on that. Let me run through it. I know my time is fast running. Then the mentorship gap, and that's why I really praise the convenience of this program, the convenience of our gathering this evening and other gatherings that will even follow after tonight. Seek mentorship. It's important. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are people who have been where you are and have scaled through it. There are people who are currently where you hope to be. seek guidance, seek guidance. One of the ways to seek guidance is what you are doing tonight, being here. Another way to seek guidance is, online. There are a lot of communities you can join, and it's for free, really. There's no, if it's paid, forget about it. For free, and you're having this for free even tonight. I mean, so much opportunity. If you're in school, for instance, as a student, there's the Google Development Student Club. I know a number of students because I worked in the university for close to 9 years. I know, but so I worked with students in that space. The Google Development Student Club. Google empowers them. Google, there's more like a close community in different universities across the world. There are competitions they partake in. There are things that they do, and all of that they all participate in. So it's important if you are all right. It's important that if you are a student, check that out. And anybody, student or no student, there are opportunities online. LinkedIn, for instance. Okay. If you are not on LinkedIn currently, it's fine, but make it one of your goals in the next few weeks to have a very good LinkedIn profile. Okay. I believe we will still have, in the course of our conversation in this mentorship journey, I believe there will be aspects where we'll talk about your LinkedIn profile online, your LinkedIn, maximizing your opportunities there, and also, but seek guidance. Then confidence issues. Let me put to that last. When I say confidence issues, I would divide it into two categories. Confidence in yourself, like, okay, I've learned this skill now. I hope I'm not feeling like an imposter. I hope, am I confident enough to put it out there? Am I confident enough to say that I've learned this thing and I know it as I'm supposed to know it, to start seeking job with it and all of that, and all of that. And then even confidence of people who check you out online, people who want to employ your skills, or the people who want to employ you, as it were. Confidence in, oh, this person is a fresher on this thing. I hope this person can deliver on this. And my little solution to that, which is very effective, I've seen it working every time. And anybody that comes into tech space, I tell them, where are you putting out your work? If you tell me you're a developer, you are learning something. If you are learning something, if you are come. Okay, stop, man. Apologies. Sit down here. Okay, don't stop running. Stop running. They are my friends. My friends are computer. Don't talk. Okay. All right. Apologies. All right. So if I see anybody say, no, okay, I'm a developer, a front end or a back end developer, and all of that, when you're putting out your work, there's what something will call the I don't know, you escaped me just now, but you push out your work so that people can see it, even works that are not yet complete, and that's very important. You can see me, I boldened it here. Unfinished work beats perfectionism. Even if it's not finished yet, the progress that people are saying, and you are making progress, seeing it there. GitHub. That I wanted to remember about GitHub. So if you're a developer, I tell them, I say, put your work on GitHub. Your code, let it be there. Let them see that you are making progress, you are progressing, and then that you are developing, as it were. Okay. And so confidence is you have to put yourself out there. All right. If you don't do that, there's no remedy to it. It has to be deliberate. It has to be intentional. Okay. So lastly, I want to talk about the ways you could actually, put yourself out there where you can gain opportunities, gain other things that you could gain opportunities, see people who would employ your skills, people who could, use your desired skills that you have gained and all of that. I put here Fiverr, I put here Upwork, check them out. I will share this. I believe this slides will be made available to us, but these are just a few examples of the things that are available to you. Honestly, the digital space is a very, very wide and vast space. Okay, I see Upwork here. The very common one then that started there was I think it was Behance. I was on Behance, used it for some time. I was doing graphic design then. And then you could get work online, paid in foreign currency and all of that. It's actually a connected and interconnected world. Now, there's no limitation to the things that you can achieve. There's no limitation to the things that you can accomplish. All right. So check them out. Check them out. And then the other things that I put here. Let me run to this very last important one. It will be an injustice if from the session of today there's no actionable point that you have, picked, or the things that you need to do next. So I've helped. Now, this is not cast in stone. You could actually adapt it to suit your own reality. Okay. But I want to suggest a 90-day plan, a 90-day action plan. Either you're a student, or you are a fresh school leaver, or you are, an early career person, say 1 to 5 years in your career and all of that. You could actually do a 90-day action plan. And these are the things I can, recommend to you. For instance, I have a student currently, or a mentee currently, is just going into his second year in the university. He gained admission last year, and then he's actually getting jobs. And I encouraged him just early last year, around January 2024. He said he wanted to learn front-end development, coding. Yeah, go for it. Gave him some advice, the things he needs to do. He mentioned a school or a training center that he felt like attending. I checked them out. Oh, okay, fine. I mean, go for it and all of that. He needed the laptop, advice, and all of the things that surrounded his. Long and short of the story now is that he's very good at it. Yes, he's still learning. Yes, everybody is still learning, really. I mean, he got a job from somebody from Germany the person checked him out on LinkedIn, and then he got the job from the person, and he started doing it. Front-end engineering. There's a team he works with across the world. He doesn't need to see anybody face to face. Just gets the brief, and then the time is meant to deliver, and he delivers on the job, and he gets paid. All right. And it's just going, in fact, he's just resuming second year this week. So he's a year 2 to a sophomore, a year 2 student, just resuming this month of October as year 2. So you're a student, there's no limitation, there's no barrier to the things that you could do. Even so much more much so if you are out of school already, finding a job currently, or you are in between jobs, trying to, pivot into the tech industry and all of that. I'm encouraging you to please do that. And even if you're not going into the tech industry, you need to arm yourselves with the necessary skills that need to be learned. So first 1 to 2 weeks, you could explore. Tonight, I've helped you to spark. I hope I've been able to spark some curiosity in you to think about your skills, the things that you are good at, your strength, your inclinations, and see where exactly you could actually play in this space. Okay, so you can research and know what digital roles match your interest, or match your strength, or match your, personal inclinations. Join relevant online communities. Check them out on Twitter. Check them out on LinkedIn too. There are communities. You get updates from there. You read about them. See what people post. Read through it, and by within a few weeks, you will notice that you have started speaking the language of that industry. You see that you are already learning the things that an industry is about. Okay. Start following industry leaders too. That's very important. Okay, so on all of these platforms, get on them. Get on Twitter. It's important. Get also on LinkedIn, and check out those communities that you can actually learn from. Okay. Number 2, the next after then, probably 3 to 5 or 6 weeks after then, enroll for a free course. Free courses are everywhere. There are free courses on LinkedIn. I shared with us the other time for Microsoft Learn. You could audit courses on Coursera, audit courses on edX, audit courses on, every one of these massive open online courses. Okay, enroll in them, practice with small projects, connect with online, similar users. For instance, when I was trying to break into the product management space, I hope, okay, probably I hope there will be questions. I'll be able to share a little more of my, experience. When I was trying to break into the product management space, I didn't know exactly what to do, because I'd always been a technical person, and product management is not really technical. It's more of managerial. Okay. I was trying to break into that space, and what I did was I went on LinkedIn. I checked out one guy. This guy I never knew the guy, but I just checked his profile. And then I read that to him, sent him a message. What should I do about this and this and this? And then he gave me advice. And then, it's all of that is story right now. I did that to him when I got my certifications for product management, just less than a year after then. I got my certifications. And then the guy was very, very inspired and all. So learn, that should be your goal for the 3 weeks after then. Then after then, week 7 to week 10, volunteer for digital projects. There are a lot of opportunities to volunteer online, even if they are not present online. Seek for them actively. I've seen people reach out to me. Oh, I did my digital product management, this and that. Where can I link them up with somebody? Okay, learn here. When we're developing an app for my church, well, I put the team together, and then the people who wanted the experience, I said, come and do product management. And I was just, overseeing them and all of that. That's experience. As a matter of fact, I put it on my CV at some point. Okay. So practice with small work, volunteer, and all of that. And then put your jobs out there. And then lastly, yes, put your job out there, showcase it. Okay. Build a LinkedIn profile. You might have a LinkedIn profile right now, but when you have done all of these steps, you see that you have more things to put out there. You see that you have more substance to deploy, to showcase. Okay. Then start showcasing them. And then try applying for opportunities, from there, try to put yourself out, try to apply yourself, try to check out opportunities and see how well you fare, with other applicants. All right. So check out this 90 plan. You could screen grab it, or just wait till you are sent the slides for this engagement. I hope I've been able to help 1 or 2 people this evening. Digital mindset, as I wrote here, is digital is a mindset. It's not just a space. It's not just an industry. You need to have that mindset of curiosity, have the mindset that you are able, to do what it is you desire, and that you are able to achieve it. Okay. Remember, progress beats perfection. Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. The digital economy is waiting for your unique perspective and talent. Thank you very much for listening to me so far. If you have been with me, even with all of my distractions here, I believe you have learned 1 or 2 things and been able to pick, life skills.
Is that your friend, Daddy?
Yeah, my friends. Yes, you'll be able to pick.
Daddy.
See them. Thank you.
See how Daddy.
So I believe you'll be able to pick a few things. You won't see them if you keep talking. Yeah, thank you so much. I think we can do the question and answer right now. Banke.
Okay, Mr. Bankole, please, you can have the floor.
Thank you. My daughter is also. Sorry, my daughter was also doing. Thank you, Coach TB. It's a wonderful session.
Mr. Bankole.
Sir?
Yeah, I said it's TLB.
Oh, TLB. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for this wonderful session. We really appreciate.
Thank you.
So we are in the question and answer segment. I don't know if anyone asked a question so far before we roll out a few questions.
Okay, I can see a hand. Aberejesu Victor.
Aberejesu Victor, you have the floor.
All right, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for that sparring session. So, my question is this: like, as a student now, like, how do we maximize the digital space? Yeah, like doing so many things simultaneously. Like, how can we try to balance everything up?
Yeah, thank you, Victor. Okay, should we do it this way? Macaulay, should we gather the questions, or should we do them one after the other?
Let's have them together.
Okay, so Victor, I've noted your question. How can we, combine the, learning and exploring the digital space as a student, with all of the other commitments? All right. I see another hand, Asedebe. I think you can have the floor.
Yes, good evening, sir. Um, I wanted to ask about the putting yourself out there immediately after learning, and my question is that is there a certain extent or is there like a certain state you must get to, like in terms of like certifications and all before you put yourself out there? Because when you go on the LinkedIn space, you're seeing a lot of people with their certifications and all of that, and sometimes it scares. Let me talk for myself personally. It scares me, like, oh, like what am I even bringing here? Like, what am I going to come and say when I don't even have the certifications and all of that?
Yes, sir.
All right, pardon me, thanks. Okay, so Shekina says, do you need to have certifications? How do you, about putting yourself out there, do you need to be certified before you? Sorry, it's there. It's okay, my dear, sorry. All right, all right, who's next? The Damilola.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for this session. Actually, I joined in late, so it's possible that I might have addressed this question that I'm about to ask, but I would appreciate if you can just answer my question just briefly. I'm still going to go over the session.
Okay.
So yes, thank you. So my question is, how can someone without a tech background, like a non-tech professional, strategically position themselves for success in the digital world?
Okay. Yeah, like you mentioned, I think we talked about it, but I'll mention that again.
I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
No, there's no problem. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Ms. Dorcas. Ms. Dorcas.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. I can
Okay,
hear you.
sir. I want to ask a question when it comes to learning skills online.
Yes.
And that's two questions. Yes, I get the fact that there are some free courses you can do online, but when it comes to certification, they will ask for payment, and it might be $50 here, $100 there. By the time you convert it, it's something big on our side, especially for somebody that's just starting out.
Yes.
And even though you know the skill, sometimes we don't have a proof like a certification, a certificate that, oh, I learned this somewhere, or you just picked up the skills from YouTube here and there. How do you prove to people that you're actually good at what you do? Despite the fact that you don't have a certificate, you do not have any accredited certification in that particular skill. That's one. Number two is, if you have, let's say you want to learn a particular skill. I remember when I wanted to learn R, I went online, I saw some free courses, and I noticed that I got more confused at some point because I was seeing different approach to learning the same thing. So I checked up a course on a particular website. Then I started looking for different teachers use different approach. So merging them together now became an issue. And because, okay, I was trying to say, okay, let me see if I can learn it for free. And because of that, it was kind of disjointed. So how can we move around this disadvantage, especially when it comes to accessing courses online? Basically, let's say like accessing courses free online when it comes to different people having different point of view to teaching the same thing. Thank you.
Okay, so that very question, let me just get it very well. So how do you know what content to follow? How do you know who to follow, what content to believe in? Is that the question?
Like what I mean is that sometimes you want to learn something, but there are different ways to do the same thing. And then people use different approach. Some people, their own is more tricky, some is more challenging. So how do I know which one? Like, how do we balance this up? Especially when you see that, okay, there are so many videos on on learning a particular skill. So how do you have a place where you can point us to that? Okay, you can check this, because even if you go on Google and search for, okay, how to do this, like for instance, you want to learn how to use Python, or how to use how to work with R, you will definitely find at least 20 videos coming up. So where do you start? So it can become cumbersome. You are muted.
Thank you very much. I got your question. I'm not used to muting myself, but because my princess is stopping me. Yeah, that's why I kept muting. All right. So I think I get your question very well now. Okay. Are those all the questions we have? Okay, I have five questions in all now from 4 people. All right, so let me start taking one after the other. From Victor, I had a question that says, as a student, how do you balance, how do you balance learning? How do you balance applying the digital space, or, exploring the digital space with the other things that competes for your attention and for your time? Like I mentioned, and you heard when I mentioned that I know someone currently, not anytime long ago, he's just a year 2 student of University of Ilorin, actually, who actually is doing that currently. I had students back then when I was, working in the university, who, in fact, one of the guys that was always around me then gained an internship with JP Morgan in the UK. He went to all of the time when there was strike. What year was that? Was it 2022, thereabouts? There was one long strike. It was in the UK, and it was being paid pounds, as the students, he just applied, saw it online, applied, about 3 of them, and I was in University of Lagos then. And then they applied, and then they got the internship with JP Morgan. JP Morgan is a very big financial organization in the world. And then, so what I'm trying to say is that I don't deny the fact that as a student, a lot of things are taking your attention. A lot of things, there is a lot of coursework to read up. There are a lot of tests, to follow through on. There are a lot of lectures to attend and all of that, But it's a gradual process. Now, this is the joker. This is the thing. This is how to go about it. Map out daily time to interact with these things. One thing I've noticed about life generally, but specifically about developing IT skills, is the consistency. There's nobody who has known it all. Even the very big time developers of this world, they've not known it all. What everybody does is you daily apply your skills. You daily practice. It's more like instrumentalist. If there's anybody here who plays any instrument, probably the keyboard, the guitar, or whatever, you'll be able to relate with this very well. That's why you still find them, even the pros, they still practice. They still keep practicing, because once they stop practicing, they start declining. And not only that, they don't develop. So you don't get to a point where you just pick, I'm at the top here. I mean, there's nothing more to learn and all. And that's same thing applies even when you are just learning. It's one of the skills, it's one of the habits that you need to pick up from here and now. If you're able to successfully combine it with academics, successfully combine it with what you currently are doing, there's no limit to what you could achieve. I am not denying the fact that it might be a bit of a challenge. It can be difficult. I remember back in school, there were these guys, about 3 or 4 of them, we didn't know what they were doing. And most of us, it's when the exam is coming that we start rushing to night class or start doing this and that. But these guys, normal school time, normal resumption, everybody's still flexing and all of that. You see them going to night class, you see them in cardigans, and all, but they had laptops. We didn't know what was happening. And laptops wasn't so common at that point. I believe those guys had mentorship. I believe those guys had somebody who was actually guiding them. They just formed the clique about 3 and 4. Before we graduated, I mean, in fact, once we were graduating, those guys didn't even stay in Nigeria. They were learning to code. They actually knew they needed more time, so they bought more time by jettisoning or putting aside some great amount of social life. Okay, putting it aside and then trying to pump in that time in what they were trying to accomplish. Okay, so Victor, I believe it's a challenge, but if you can take on that challenge, it will eventually pay off. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Shekina asked, do you need certification to put yourself out there? I will say yes and no. Okay, the certifications that you need will be probably later on. What certifications mean is that certification is saying, oh, this person is could actually do this. And most certifications, mind you, are what we call proprietary. So for instance, if you are trying to break into the digital marketing space, for instance, I think there's a Google course on Coursera on digital marketing. I think there's a Facebook course too on Coursera. If you check it out on digital marketing, and then, okay, I did the course with Facebook. I did this course with Google on digital marketing or with IBM and all of that. Those could actually help in many ways. But I tell you that whatever you are putting out there as a work or something that you have accomplished, something that you have been able to achieve with it, far outweighs even the certification. What the certification will do for you is that it gets you a foot in the door. So for instance, somebody's trying to look you out online and say, okay, can we hire this person? Or can we employ this freelance person for this or that? And then they check you out. Oh, this person has social certifications, and they're okay. Yeah, that's a foot in the door. But what will actually sustain you is your ability to deliver on whatever things that they ask you to do. And one of the ways to show that you can deliver is already delivering on little tasks that you have actually set your heart to do. For instance, if you are trying to break into the UI UX space, you could actually do some work and put it out on your profile on LinkedIn, put it out on your Instagram, put it down on your Twitter, let people see it already. And then beyond the certification, they already have seen your work. I know, let me go back to the example I gave of the year 2 student that I talked about. It has 0 certifications. As a matter of fact, yes, he had training. He trained about, if he gets a certificate from that training school, it's just on one of our streets here in Ibadan. And then that training school is not recognized anywhere apart from the street where it exists. Okay, so if you even have certificates from that school, that is not what is getting him the opportunities that he's getting right now. As a matter of fact, the point he got to, he was trying to balance both together. He saw that it was hard. He had to drop one and then starts doing one. And he's combining it very well with his schooling. Okay, Victor, that's for you. He's combining it well. All right, so your work, what you put out there, what you are able to achieve, the little projects, the pet project that you just pick up by yourself. You see a topic online, you see somebody, or you just think of something hypothetically, if you are in the design space, on the creatives, and do something nice and put it out there. Somebody sees it and says, wow, that's a good job. Can you do this? All right. So that's just not certification. That is delivery. That's, you have put something out there. You have accomplished something. Right there. You have accomplished something with the skills that you have learned. Okay. So another question says, yeah, that was from Damien. Checking, I hope I've been able to answer that one satisfactorily. Yeah. Damien said, how can a non-tech professional position for digital? Do I still have screen sharing? All right, probably when you get the notes, you'll be able to relate with me. But let me explain what I mentioned here to answer your question. For a non-tech, there are a number of skills that I mentioned earlier. I mentioned 4. Okay, they could be more. But 4. I said communication. Right? If you're good with communication, there are a lot of things that you can explore. In the tech space. If you are somebody who is good with organizing, for instance, there are a number of things you can explore. You are good with numbers, there are a number of things you can explore too. And if you are creative, there are a vast majority of opportunities for communications. For instance, you could think about being, creating an online course. Okay, creating an online course. There are people who do voiceovers, for people, although AI does that now. So it's putting some of them out of business. But there are people who do online courses, create an online course, check out some skill that you have, and then try and do videos, communicate it. Or like you could think about, depending on what professional you are. I give an example of if you were a lawyer, for instance, you could actually think about going into tech policy. It's actually a very big and very, very rewarding space, honestly. A lawyer could go into tech policy, policy. I'm a policy person too, so I know what I'm talking about. Tech policy, you could actually explore that space. Okay. You could explore your communication skills too, in digital marketing, in digital branding and all of that. It's about communication. All right. If you are somebody who is good with organizing, you can explore product management. Okay, let me share my personal example from this now. Like I mentioned at the start of this conversation that I'm trained as an electrical engineer. Okay. At this early part of my career, I was applying that in the tech space as an hardware engineer. If you know about electrical engineering, you know that computer engineering is actually an offshoot of electrical engineering, electrical and electronics engineering. Okay. So I easily could blend into that space. Okay. So I was there, I was doing hardware. I was at the point heading the hardware and infrastructure team for the organization I was working with and all of that. But in all of that, I was training people, and I saw my strength, So early in my career, I was doing the hard work. I'm still doing hard work, but I was doing the physical things, and all of that here and there, applying the things that I learned in school, applying the things that I've picked up on the way and all of that. That was very highly technical. But along the line, I was discovering myself more. I discovered that I was good with people. Okay, I loved working with people. I loved organizing people. I could put people together and they could work together. I could get into a space where there's chaos, and then proper from my personality and some leadership skills, I'm able to put things together, and then we can work smoothly. I saw that I was good with working with people, and at that point, I had already gained skills from different aspects of tech. I knew, I'd done courses and certifications in in data analytics, data science. I'd done, I could program in Python. I did certifications in networking. Some of us about Cisco courses. I did the Cisco courses. I did, a number of things. So I had end-to-end experience, about IT. I could speak the language of every aspect of IT, DevOps, systems, administrators, all of that. And I could, relate with every area of IT. So I said, okay, what exactly could there be for me? And I explored, and one of the things that I saw that caught my interest was product management. So product management, so there's product management. So let me explain the product management space this way. You could actually have no technical skills, zero technical skills, and be a product manager. Yes, I had technical skills, and I am a product manager, although I'm not actively applying this right now, but I guide people who want to get into that space. Okay, so someone like me will be called a technical product manager, all right, because I have the technical skills, technical know-how, and all of that. For somebody who is not a technical product manager, you could say non-tech product manager, but really there's no difference, because in the end, when you relate with these people very well, you learn the language too, you understand the process and the flow of things in that field, and it's one of the part of the curriculum of being a product manager. You learn a few things and so that you can relate well with those people whom you are trying to coordinate. So if you are good with organizing, product management is one aspect that you want to check out, and it's very rewarding. Okay, they are in high demand in so many aspects of the industry. All right, you are good with organizing. You're also good at organizing. You could check out, team. You could lead teams in products. But product management is one very important. If you are good at organizing, honestly, you could hit me up on it if you need more guidance on that. Okay. If you're good with numbers, I mentioned data science, data analytics, or business analytics, or business, what do we call it now? All right. So data analytics, it has different aspects, different branches, and different offshoots of data science. There's data analytics is an offshoot of data science. As a matter of fact, AI, we didn't talk so much about it because it's a very wide space. Okay, you actually learn to use it. It's one skill that everybody here needs to learn how to use, how to apply artificial intelligence. Okay, let me get back to line. So AI is actually an offshoot of data science. Machine learning is an offshoot of robotics is an offshoot of data science. Okay, so data science is actually very vast. a very vast space. But data analytics, business analytics, business intelligence, there's business intelligence, and all of that are actually aspects of data science that you could explore if you are good with numbers. If you are good with numbers. And if you are good with numbers and also good with creativity, there's an aspect of data science that you can also explore. It's called data design. Data design. Thank God I remember that. I am actually interested in that field because of my design inclination. All right, so data design is an aspect of data science we will explore. These are people that do very nice infographics. Okay, they take data that some people have crunched, data that some people have analyzed, and create very good graphics with it that are relatable to anybody that picks it up to read it. Okay, and then go into, if you have skills with creativity, if you're a creative, you could explore UI UX as user interface and user experience. Okay, you could explore digital branding. Even you could explore graphic design. Graphic designer are even coming into the industry in so many ways now. If you're a creative, these are the things that you can explore. I hope I've been able to help you, Damilola. I hope I've been able to help you with that. If you have more questions, let me know. And then lastly, Ms. Okas asked, how do you prove your skill without certification? All right, I think I've delved on that a little bit, that your work actually speak for you. Your work go ahead of you, whatever it is that you're able to do, and showcase, they sell you. Okay, I can't say that's too much enough. Your work sells you, puts you out. Your work gives you visibility. Put your work out. Okay, your Instagram space, let it be there. Even your TikTok, your Twitter space, on your LinkedIn too, but make it organized on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very organized space. Okay, don't just spill anything out of there. It's not Twitter or it's not Instagram. Okay, but put it out there. I know a girl, I think she should be in her 4th year now. Fourth. But I knew when she was in year 1, she was doing electricity engineering, but she has a lot of interest in development, in data science, data science, and also in Internet of Things. That's an aspect, but you need to be a bit technical to know that Internet of Things, it has to do with robotics and all of that. And she's making waves, a lot of waves now. I see her every time on LinkedIn. I'm so happy. I'm proud of knowing her. Okay. And then, she goes all out with the things that she does. She writes very well. So she's able to put out her work. She types, something on the things. She just came back from the US, she won a grant on something and then traveled, and then with some other students from different parts of the world. And then personally, it's not the school that organized it. Yeah. It was our own personal. She's online in communities. She sees these opportunities, applies for them, and then she puts in herself. If you check out her profile on LinkedIn, the followership, and she's still a student. Okay. So your work actually, I'm not sure. What's her name again now? I'm not sure she has any certifications. I could check out if there be any certification that she has. Probably it's from these open online courses on Coursera, and all of that. And then it was over time relating in that space. Okay, so first explore the free ones and do something with it. Once you are able to conquer that space, honestly, the other things that are needed for the courses that you need to apply for, the paid ones and all of that, will come out. And like I mentioned in one of the slides when I was talking, there are opportunities for scholarships. I, for one, have been privileged to get a number of them. Okay, and all it needs is to prove that you are motivated, and also prove that you sincerely need that scholarship. And honestly, they'll give you full scholarship. I've had full scholarship, if I'm counting, that probably I've had 4 or 5, in the course of my career, full scholarship. Okay, so you could actually apply for them and, you get them. Okay, so I believe I've been able to answer that. Then the last question was how to trust the sources. So sometimes you like Ms. Docker said you get online, you type on Google, and it gives you are lost in a pool of options, and then you are not sure which one to go for. All right. So one thing that I do is this. Okay. Even when I go, even not only on YouTube, I admit your concern. even on these massive open online courses, Coursera, you type, I want to learn R, I want to learn Python, and you see like 25 tutors. I'm like, so which one should we go for now? So what I do is I check their reviews. There are reviews. So you see a tutor, for instance, has 4.9 out of 5. That's an interest. Then I check how many people has reviewed it. I see 7 people. No. Then I see somebody that has probably 4.2 or 4.3 out of 5. And I see how many people has reviewed him. And I see 17,000. I'm going for that 17,000 though. You know, so that's traction. That's somebody who has some, things to show students that have reviewed his work and then to show for it. So there's always review. Review is your friend when it comes to that. So when you see courses like that I'm sometimes confusing and all that, just review it. Check the review. It's always there on the pages of the online courses and what have you. You see the review, check out the review, and see the one. And then there's always sample. Okay. So for me, I don't have a bias, but for me, sometimes I find it difficult following classes that are led by people from the from India, kind of, the accent distracts me in a way. So sometimes I check out the sample, sample, they will put probably a 3-4 minutes video to sample the course, to check it out. So I just click on it. I say, okay, this person can, convey his thoughts very well, explains very well. Then I go for that course. Okay. So you could actually do that too, in addition to the review. But honestly, review is your friend. Okay. I hope I've been able to answer that question satisfactorily. All right. What's next? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
you. This is a master class.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in and out for us.
Yeah.
So we have a personal reflection. So we'll be dropping this link on the community page. If you are not in the community, I want to encourage you to join the community. The link will be dropped in the comment section. Banker, please can help us drop the link. So we'll drop the link to this personal reflection in this in the WhatsApp and Telegram group page. You might not be able to fill this form this evening because of some questions that are there. So you can take your time till tomorrow to fill the form, but please ensure you fill it by tomorrow. So we have our assignment for this week. Okay, yes. So we have our challenge for this week. Yeah, what was like he said, you need to be on social media, and it wasn't as if we had the same like he didn't see my video like our plans, and he mentioned it, and we are in sync. So that means what we are saying is actually the same. So we want you to, if you're not very present online, we want you to go online and go and revamp your social media accounts. And if you don't even have, at least go and open at least one. I wouldn't want to compulsory LinkedIn for you at this point because we will still get to LinkedIn. So you will still open LinkedIn. So you can pick another one. And if you want to do LinkedIn, fine, do LinkedIn because we still have a section on LinkedIn. So revamp your social media account. That's the first assignment. Then you're going to post if that you're a member of TQN. So we're going to share the link to the template. You just upload your picture and write your name. So, and you can download the design. And you're supposed to tag us on any of our social media channel. You tag us. The person with the ISV or engagement will be winning 10 gig data. The second person will be winning 5 gig, and the third person will be winning 2 gig. Let us see who is going to win our data gifts for this. So these are a challenge, but the goal for this is just to ensure that you are present online. It's to make you want to post on your social media accounts. So that's the goal for this assignment. And yes, this is the form link for those that are in the group but you have not registered, because we'll be sending materials. For instance, this material that was used, we'll be sending it to only registered members. So if you're not registered, there's no way we can send you this material. So please register The link is also be shared. And okay, announcement from all. Our schedule, our activity continues on Monday. So we'll be sending you emails for the opportunity roundup. If you have not registered, there's no way you can get the mail. And on Wednesday, we'll be dropping our skill spotlight session, be dropping our video, and we'll be having a conversation by 7 p.m. on Telegram. Please try to be online to discuss about what we've learned. And Friday, we'll be having another activity on Telegram. And on Saturday, next Saturday, we are back here on Zoom for our another live webinar. So the next live webinar will be on the modern CV employers want. That is, how do you come up with your CV? So I remember I drafted my first CV when I was about leaving UI, like I think a few days for my BSc. When I was about leaving school, packing my load, I drafted this, I printed it, I even had my picture on it. Looking back, I just smell like a passport. But I was leaving school like, okay, I've finished, I've graduated, I've written my last exam. I've not graduated in that, but I've written my last exam, I've done my project defense, so I knew I was done. So I left school with a CV. So, and the current world we have right now, you don't need to even finish school before you have your CV prepared. Really, you don't need to finish school. So, and if you are even finished, are there any mistakes you are making? So we'll be having an HR consultant come. She's a recruiter, so she has been reviewing CV. So she come and tell us what employers want, and so that you can actually position yourself, even after learning the skill you want to learn. How do you position yourself to get that job? So, and Sundays, like we say, the link will be shared on Saturdays, but please ensure you fill it tomorrow, because you might actually, the questions in the reflection, you have to reflect, you have to think about this session. And in case you missed out anything, we'll try to upload this recording as soon as possible so that you can rewatch. So 7 p.m. This is our lineup of webinar. I think we have this already. So next week is CV, then LinkedIn optimization and remote job. So every Saturday in this month, we are bringing people, resource persons to actually address important areas when it comes to you getting a job. And this is the foundation. Thank you so much for joining us today. And yes, follow us on social media. Please, there's no way you can even participate in the challenge without following us. Kindly follow us on social media. Thank you. That's all the announcements from my end. I'll be saying thank you once again to our facilitator. You've been you've been a resource to us today, and we really thank you and we appreciate you for your time, for your resources, for giving us the opportunity. We called you and you came here. Thank you. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, everyone.